Look at that. Hey guys, AJ here back with another one for you. So you guys might remember this case from last year, right? Where this Ohio teacher was fired for not using the pronouns of her middle school students, Clown World. And the craziest part is they fired the language arts / English teacher for wanting to use proper English. Clown World, right? Well, guys, look at this. The case has been settled. That's $450,000 settlement for Ohio teacher who refused to use student pronouns. Look at that. So, guys, we'll get in this article. We'll also go over the original news report for the case. But before we do, like, subscribe, drop a comment, guys. Check out my Discord. I have a second channel, so check that out too. There's a playlist of woke stuff at the end. And let's get into this, guys. 450 grand. An Ohio school district will pay $450,000 to a middle school teacher who resigned for refusing to address two Transformer students by their preferred names and pronouns. Jackson Local School District reached a settlement in December with teacher Vivian Garrity after she claimed in a 2022 lawsuit that her First Amendment rights were violated when she was told to resign from her middle school language arts position, Clown World. Look at that. Now, guys, let's look at the original news report, okay?
An Ohio teacher is suing her former school district for allegedly forcing her to resign after refusing to use students' preferred pronouns. Vivian Garrity, a former English teacher at Jackson Local Schools, alleging that while teaching at Jackson Memorial Middle School, she was instructed to address two students by their preferred pronouns and their preferred names. Logan Spina is her attorney and legal counsel at American Defending Freedom. Logan, thanks so much for coming on. If you can, walk our viewers through the incident leading up to your client's resignation. What happened?
Well, it's basically just like you just described it. So Vivian's a teacher. She teaches middle school, and two of her students asked her to personally facilitate their social transition, use new names and pronouns to communicate that a male child is female or that a female child is male.
Clown World.
That's dishonest, and Vivian believes that it's harmful to children based on evidence. And so she went to her principal to explain that she couldn't do this. The students never complained. There was never any disruption of the school. But as soon as school officials found out that it was her religious beliefs that made her unable to do that, within 2 hours of learning of this, they handed her a laptop, forced her to write her letter of resignation, and escorted her out of the building.
Look at that. Clown World.
Before I get to the legal part, I'm just curious, and maybe you know or not, but did the parents of the student or students get involved in any way? Did they know about these pronouns, preferred names?
The parents were aware of the request to use the names and pronouns, and they supported that for their children, but they were never aware of Vivian's reluctance. And again, there was never any complaint from any parent or any student or any teacher. Vivian went to her administration to try to work this out. But as soon as they found out about her religious basis for being unable to personally validate these identities and personally reinforce them by using names and pronouns, they made her resign.
Got it. All right. So here we have a teacher that essentially refuses to use these preferred pronouns, preferred names, citing religious beliefs. Now take us through that in terms of Vivian and a legal argument. Where is that? Kind of explain that portion to us.
Sure. There's really two main components: free speech and free exercise of religion. On the speech side, the government can't force its employees to personally recite the government's message without showing a really strong interest in doing that. And there's no interest whatsoever here because there was no disruption of the school. In America's public schools, the government's not allowed to decide what an orthodoxy is from a political or moral or religious standpoint. The issues of what makes a man or a woman is a matter that goes to the core of our existence and our political order itself. And the schools can't force people to take one side of that under the free speech clause, but that's what they did. On the free exercise of religion perspective, schools have to treat everyone equally regardless of their religious beliefs. And the fact that they forced her to resign within 2 hours of finding out what her religious beliefs were shows that they were hostile to her Christian faith. And that violates the free exercise clause of our First Amendment.
Was there any argument between the principal and Vivian when Vivian went to the principal and said, hey, look, I just don't believe in this. I don't feel comfortable with this. Was there any option for this teacher to go another route, maybe go to another classroom, anything of that sort?
There wasn't, and that's part of the problem. They didn't discuss any potential accommodations, even though there were some available. One of them is what you just mentioned, perhaps reassigning either Vivian or the students. Another would have been to allow her to address the students by last name. None of that was discussed, and Vivian was blindsided by the fact, really thunderstruck by the fact that they forced her to resign so quickly without even exploring any potential alternatives.
Look at that.
All right, Logan Spina, keep us posted on that lawsuit there. We appreciate you coming on and sharing that.
Look at that, guys. And now $450,000 later, this has been settled, right? And guys, these school administrators,
some people are really fucking stupid.
Right? And the parents of those kids.
Some people are really fucking stupid.
Clown world, right? and you're going to start seeing this more and more. People are pushing back, right? Clown world. I told you guys. They fired her. And she's an English teacher. The agreement follows this ruling from the U.S. District Court that says that forcing Garrity to use students' preferred names amounted to compelled speech and that the school's pronoun practice was not neutral. The school tried to force the teacher to accept and repeat the school's viewpoint on issues that go to the foundation of morality and human identity, like what makes us male or female, by ordering her to personally participate in the social transition of her students, as Logan Spina, legal counsel for Alliance Defending Freedom, an organization that represented Garrity, right? The First Amendment prohibits that abuse of power, and Jackson local school district officials have learned that, and that comes at a steep cost. Facts. On the first day of school, August 2022, two of her students asked that she refer to them using names different from their names. And you guys know that the parents were like telling their their kids to do this, right? You ever notice how it's only these woke parents that have transformer kids, right? Come on, man. So Garrity, she continued to refer to these students using their quote-unquote dead names. The name that a transformer was assigned at birth, but does not align with their gender. Please. The student reached out to the school and said, one of my teachers is dead naming me all the time. Please. Look at that. Guys, what do you think? Right? And she says that her religious conviction would not allow her to agree with the students' requests, and that she wouldn't be comfortable using the preferred names because she knew what was behind it, right? Look at that. So they forced her to resign, and it cost them $450,000. Guys, let me know what you guys think, right? I think this is a win. You cannot compel speech, guys. That's a bad idea. And this is a public school. Private school, maybe. If there was some woke school, there was some private school, you can do that, fine. Right? But this is a public school. What are you talking about? Well, Vivian Garrity, I hope that you take this $450K, you invest it, right? Make yourself a better future, and you go teach at a private Christian school. You know what I'm saying? All right, you guys, this is AJ. I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe. I'm out of here, guys. Have a good one.